Welcome to this Windows and Computer channel, and we kind of update this video as we are, and we're going to have updates from time to time because we're moving on to something that is going to happen at the beginning of 2020. So at the beginning in January, actually, of 2020, January 14th, 2020, Windows 7 will get its last security update. It's called End of Support. So, what does it mean? And what should you do? And of course, we're going to answer also the obvious questions of what if I continue using it after that? Because all of these possibilities will happen. Some will continue using it. Some will want to know what can I do to update or upgrade, or how do I do anything. And of course, some of you just want to know what does it mean exactly. Every Windows operating system typically ends at some point. They call this end of support. It's the time typically where Microsoft won't help you anymore with the operating system if there's a problem, and it's the time where the monthly security patches stop being distributed for that Windows system. Windows 7 is going to be there at the beginning of next year. In January of 2020, you'll have your last security update. So what does it mean exactly? Will my Windows 7 stop working? No, it will not. You'll still be able to use it. Windows XP still works if you got a PC that can run it. It didn't stop working. That's not how it happens. But there is something that's going to happen, and it's that you'll be less secure with time. So, yeah, you're still going to be able to use it throughout 2020 if you want. And it's still going to work and do whatever you want to do with it for a while. What if you decide you want to keep it? Okay, maybe you're used to it and you're like, yeah, I want to continue using it. I like it. I don't see why I want to move on to some other system. Maybe it's because you got some hardware or a program software that isn't compatible with any other versions after that. These are kind of valid reasons why you might not want to move on. And of course, there's the hardware. Maybe your PC is just too old and is not supported with Windows 10 or won't work well with Windows 10. All of these possibilities are there and for some of you, that's going to happen. Okay, when you continue using Windows 7 in 2020, what's going to happen is that you won't have the latest security updates when patches are available. And starting with the first patch Tuesday in February, when bad guys know that, oh, there's these security flaws. Of course, bad guys will know that Windows 7 will still be used by millions of people. And you will be targeted for that. They will try to target your operating system and infect you with malware, ransomware, and so on. When Windows XP expired, I was still doing a lot of tech jobs. And there are a number of people that got bitten by malware because of the lack of security updates. Security updates are 90% of your security. That means security updates really clearly keep you secure. Now, you're going to say, okay, that's kind of scary. There's going to be an offset to this. And, let's be honest. The offset depends on two things. What you do with your PC. So if you're a person that, deems yourself as being good at, just staying safe online, not doing anything bad, you already are putting your chances on your side. So with lack of security updates, you're mitigating or lowering that scenario of something bad happening. The other thing is most people are using Google Chrome or a third-party browser other than Internet Explorer. That means that basically if you're using Chrome or a browser that third-party browser, these are still going to be updated. So Google Chrome will still update its Chrome browser for Windows 7 for a while after that. In the case of Windows XP, we've seen that Chrome was updated for 2 years after Windows XP disappeared. If you use Chrome and it's updated all the time, of course that also will have some safety net, because that Chrome version will block a lot of its own security problems that might actually be tied into browsing the web and actually using some security hole in Windows at the same time. It's not perfect, it's not the best solution, but if you continue using Windows 7 through 2020 with a browser that is updated regularly, you are once again mitigating the problems. You're once again lowering the risk of having, something bad happen to your operating system. Of course, you'll have to be extra careful. And honestly, I think that when that happens, when Windows 7 does and retire, you really should think about moving on to something more modern, because you can never underestimate the risks of using an outdated operating system. So what to do? Maybe you're asking yourself, yeah, but I don't know what to do right now. Well, if your PC isn't too old, one of the things that can be done is upgrade to a more modern operating system. You'll have the choice to move on to Windows 8 or Windows 10. Now, Windows 8 is, of course, still going to be supported. Windows 8.1 particularly is still supported until 2025, 2024, something like that. 2023, sorry. 2023. So you'll have 3 more years. But if you're about to make that move, I think sincerely, if your PC is capable of upgrading, you should move on to Windows 10. Now, you might have heard so many things about Windows 10, and be careful because people ramble a lot about so many things. I've heard so many people talk about, bashing Windows 10 and not even know why. Oh, well, a friend of mine told me it's no good. Yeah, make your own opinion. Don't listen to others, especially on the tech side of things, because 90% of everybody is going to tell you whatever, because they have absolutely no idea of how a PC works anyways, and they ramble on about stuff. If your PC is compatible, if you don't have any constraint about maybe software or hardware, moving to Windows 10 will give you a more modern operating system and will, of course, make your PC once again secure, and it's going to stay secure for as long as you've got your computer. Of course, if you've got a really old computer, something that's 7, 8, 9 years old, you might start thinking about, maybe I should get myself a new PC. But also, you'll have to consider, do I need a new PC? Because a lot of people are moving off PCs. A lot of people are like, yeah, well, I do everything with my iPad or in my phone. I don't need a PC anymore. And that is honestly something that a lot of people are getting into. They are there. They don't necessarily need a new computer. So that you answer your question there also. Some of you might be tempted. Maybe I should buy a Mac now. You're not more secure on a Mac if you're not careful. That's the first thing you got to know. It's a false. Anybody that tells you, Mac computers are so safe. Yeah, no, they're not. They're not safer than Windows. They're safer because there are less viruses that hit them in general, but still, it is not a foolproof operating system. And as a tech guy, I can tell you, I've really cleaned a lot of PCs that had viruses on Mac. The other thing is, if you have an old PC, you can maybe turn it into a Linux machine. But you know what? Linux is for a Windows user and for people that don't know much about PCs or computers, is not a easy to use operating system for most people. Whatever people tell you, Linux might give and extend the life of your computer. Yes, absolutely. But it's all up to you. Do you want a steep learning curve? Because you'll find out that a Linux machine doesn't work quite like a Windows machine. So that is something that you can think, but remember you'll have a steep learning curve in there. And of course, if you do move on, is it free or not? Well, it depends on many things. For a lot of people, it's not going to be a free upgrade to Windows 10, and that's why I often say, if you're about to pay $100 for Windows, start looking around for a PC, a new PC. You know, and if you've got a Windows key under that laptop or on the box of that desktop, a valid product key, actually you might be in luck. You might be able to upgrade to Windows 7 for free. Because that Windows 7 and Windows 8 product key, a lot of them are valid, and when you start upgrading to Windows 7, you actually will have the possibility to use that key when it asks for a product key and possibly just it's going to move on and say, yep, cool, we're upgrading. If that happens, you got a free ride to Windows 10 and you better use it because you're in luck, and why not move on to the latest version. The next video I will show will actually show you how to upgrade to Windows 10 from Windows 7 if that's your wish. It'll be a quick video that's just going to show you that, we'll move on and what version to choose depending on what version you've got. If you got some questions, more questions, of course there will be updated videos here for Windows 7 and its end of life. So I'll answer some of these questions every time. So if you got questions, anything you want to talk about, well, just ask them here, and I'll include the answers to these questions in the next update. I'll roughly do a video like this once a month until we get to officially that point where Windows 7 is on its last legs. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.